My name is Isaiah Oliver, and I'm proud to serve as president of the Community Foundation for Northeast Florida. I'm sure the question is, why Jacksonville? I mean, almost immediately fell in love with this community. It reminded me of Flint, and I often say I'm from Flint, Michigan, born and raised. On the playground is where I spend most of my days. And on the playground is where you meet your first friends, where you really begin to understand this common language of community and home and what it means. And as I've been on this journey to figure out where my career might take me next, we were looking for a place where my family could really call it home. Jacksonville has been that. The deep care that folks have for this community, the agency that they have in the decision making, and the future of it really resonated with us and made it a warm place and a welcome place for me and my family. I'm often asked how I came into the world of philanthropy. I didn't know what it was before I became a vice president of community impact at the Community Foundation of Greater Flint. But I think the journey starts before that. I went to traditional public schools. My wife went to parochial schools, and we both had a perspective on that. My wife decided that if my kid was going to go to traditional public schools, that I had to do something to support and fix it. I ran for school board in 2011, became a member of the board, became chairman of the board, was really engaging across community in a number of ways, really contributing to make our community a better place. But in that process, I met amazing folks, including my predecessor at the Community Foundation of Greater Flint, Kathy Horton. But I was excited about the opportunity to work in an organization that was giving dollars to support filling gaps in organizational capacity to do amazing things. In 2015, early 2016, my community was hit with a major crisis, a man-made crisis. Over 100,000 people, 10,000 kids between 0 and 5, 10,000 seniors were exposed to lead in their drinking water. And our community foundation was central to our community's response to that crisis. And it was more than just a crisis or an erosion of pipes. It was an erosion of trust in organizations that are meant to represent and be in the best interest and serve the best interest of the community. And our community had a responsibility to respond, and the Community Foundation had a role in that. I was able to lead what I would describe as moral courage and a huge set of responsibility for my community through that process, and I'm honored and quite frankly different as a result of that experience. I realized right away that charity wasn't enough. Multi-sectoral problems require multi-sectoral solutions. So there was never a place where the Community Foundation could step in alone and address societal problems or plug long-term safety net issues that existed in our community. And so partnership became the way that I approached the work. What does it mean to step into this work as the new guy in a new community? And it reminds me of a story. During the height of the water crisis, we were waking up every day, going to sleep every night, thinking about how we meet the needs of community alongside community. And in philanthropy, we tend to kind of know exactly how things work. And so I come home one evening after a long day of work. I open the door and I hear my daughter screaming. She's a newborn. And I look to my middle daughter now and I say to her, hey, could you grab me some milk out of the refrigerator? We start the microwave at 3 minutes in hot water. In that moment, my wife walks up the door, baby's still screaming. She drops the laundry that she has in her hand. She walks into the living room. She looks to my older daughter. She says, grab me a diaper. She rips the diaper open of my baby daughter. She immediately stops crying. Then she looks over to my middle daughter and she says, where's your dad? She says, he's still sitting in the kitchen waiting on the microwave to stop. And in that moment, I realized two things. One, there's a fully operating system happening in my house. And two, I'm not part of it. And that's often how we engage with folks in community. We look to do to and for them and not with them. What I know to be true in this moment is that there's a fully operating system happening in Jacksonville. There's a fully operating system happening in the northeast corner of Florida. I am currently not part of that system, but that means that I have to step in and listen. I've got to step in and be paced and be thoughtful about how I engage and really hear and understand the systems that are at play and how I might plug into those systems. Again, I learned a whole lot by walking through that door. I tend to not do to and for my family, but we often get in these spaces where we feel like we know exactly what the next response should be, and we get on autopilot. And my intention is not to step into this community on autopilot. I've got some lived and professional experiences that I think will be helpful, but I'm looking to listen and learn and engage in this community in a meaningful way.